You can believe that. Okay. What I want to accomplish today, if we can go on to the next slide, we had the Lord's Prayer as an opening. And what I want to see, or what I want to do, or see in a school, is a school, you heard the phrase in there, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I want you to think today, I want to give you 3 reasons why we should try to make it so. Why we should try to make it so. And then I'm going to suggest 10 things that I wrote out. I could have written 500, but 10 things that I wrote out that maybe you could think about. I'm just going to use the theme. I'm going to use a favorite scripture of mine. I'm going to ask you to put your name in a couple times and a couple of the words. And I'm going to use a favorite quote. I know a lot of you have done strengths finders all the way through the junior class. I'm a learner, so I love quotes. I love to collect quotes. And one of them is by C.S. Lewis. So if we go on to the first slide, or the next slide, our theme this year is responding to God's faithfulness. Act justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God. And if we can go to the scripture. Now, we've chosen Micah 6, verse 8. He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. It's a command. Before this, in verses 6 and 7, the writer, Micah, says, with what shall I come before the Lord, and bow down before the exalted God? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000 rivers of oil? Shall I offer my firstborn for my transgressions, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? I'll give anything, is what he's saying. And then it goes into this scripture. He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? A command to us. What does God want from us? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with our God. So, as we try to create a culture here, a culture of love and a climate of love and caring for each other, the first thing I want to challenge you with is, it's a command that God has given us. If you can go on to the next slide. This is a favorite scripture of mine. I'm going to read through it, and then I'm going to ask you to put some names in it. Psalm 139, 13 through 16. For you created, by the way, if you get a chance tonight, go home and read all of Psalm 139 up to verse 13. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful scripture. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book, before one of them came to be. So what I want to do with verse 14, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. One of the things that helps me when I'm thinking about Scripture is put my own name in there. So I want you to put your own name in there. I praise you because Kevin was fearfully and wonderfully made. I want you to put your own name in there for a second. Just think about that. Why should we create a culture of love and kindness here? First of all, put your own name in there. The second thing I want you to do is put the name of a friend in there. I praise you because my friend was fearfully and wonderfully made. Just put that name in there and think about that name. I also want to praise you, and I want you to put a teacher's name in there. And think about that for a second. I praise you because Mrs. Hendricks was wonderfully, fearfully, and wonderfully made. And perhaps, if you're really, really daring, put somebody that you don't feel so good about right now. Somebody that maybe you're not getting along with. Put their name in there. I praise you because this person that I maybe am not getting along with perfectly, that person is fearfully and wonderfully made. So 2 things so far. Why should we make this a great culture? Why should we make this a great school? Why should we make this a place where other people want to be? It was a command, Micah 6, verse 8. Number 2, consider that the people that are sitting in here with you are fearfully and wonderfully made. They're children of God. And who would want to mess with a child of God? That's the second thing. Go on to the next slide. This is a favorite quote of mine. You live with the immortals. That's just the title that I put on it. There are no ordinary people. You have never talked to a mere mortal. Nations, cultures, arts, civilizations, these are mortal, and their life is to ours like the life of a gnat. But it is the immortals with whom we joke with, work with, marry, snub, and exploit. C.S. Lewis wrote that quote. It's just a small part of a much larger quote, if you'd like to get that from me someday. This one, when I read it, kind of slapped my face. I didn't think of it. It's a lot like the scripture, but I just didn't think of it that way. There are no ordinary people. The person sitting next to you is extraordinary. They're eternal. They go on and on and on. This building, which we would love for you to respect and take great care of, and lots of great things happen here, fades away. Think of how many of you have taken world history right now? Just raise your hand. You're going to see hundreds of cultures and countries that no longer exist, just gone. And this one slapped me in the face because I often value things a lot more than people. I value my possessions, what I have, but I don't value people who are eternal. So those are the challenges today, to bring heaven to earth. Why we should make it so. 1, it's a command. 2, we live with the children of God. 3, think about this quote. All the people around you are not fading away. We go on together into eternity. That quote just really hammered that home for me. So let's go to the next slide. Desire of my heart, what I would like to see. Mr. Credit this morning was talking about the hurricane. I was in his class that's coming up the East Coast, and he was asking students to think outside of Whatcom County. His seniors, I believe. Mr. Credit, were those all seniors in there? Yeah. Yes. He's asking them to think outside of Whatcom County. Today, I want you to come inside this room. I want you to come inside this room and just concentrate here. And think about the kind of school that you want to have.